All right, we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to DC Fine Art. I want to apologize to everybody for the late start. Usually we start at 7 p.m. on Tuesdays, and everything got messed up. For one thing, my OBS system crashed on me, and I could not get the live stream going. And then it was already past the time. I mean, I worked on it forever. I even tried re-downloading it, everything, and it just kept crashing and sending reports to Apple. So I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And it was past the time of what I usually start at, but then I ended up finding out, and I am on here. I think everything's doing good. I ended up finding out that I didn't even list or made public the live stream. So you guys didn't even know that we were having a live stream because I didn't put it out to the public. I had it there, I just had it to where you guys couldn't see it, so I didn't list it. And so I was like, oh my gosh, could things just get any worse? I hope not. I'm hoping this live stream goes okay. It'll probably be a little bit shorter of a live stream, but that's okay. We will work together on this. We're just going to kind of experiment, have some fun, and work on this little bird. So I think the only ones that knew about the bird would be anybody who is on my Patreon as a free member. You guys got and you can download it if you want to for the reference photo. I do have it listed in the description below, but I also gave the line drawing. Let me turn this over. So you guys also got the line drawing. And this was done on a 9x12 sheet of paper, but even though I'm working on a 10x10, you can still lay it across and be able to draw it. Now, if you're wanting to make it a little further up, you can just go ahead and draw your little lines and just make those little bitty adjustments if needed. But there will also, if you guys were to mat this, the matting will probably cover up some of the edges, so you don't have to worry too much about getting all the way to the bottom unless you want to. So this is for free members. If you guys are not a free member and you're wanting to join and you don't want to do a tier, you're just wanting to get a line drawing to be able to work along with us each week, you can go over to my Patreon. The link is in the description below, and sign up as a free member. And that way you can download the line drawing that I'll have for you guys. And as you notice, compared to our actual reference photo, there's a lot of things missing. I mean, I definitely kind of put in some things or took out some things. Definitely with this cherry, it doesn't go up here. I did some little adjustments on it, so that way we're working with just a center focal point here. Also, any of the things that I'll be using today, or at least the Graphitint I'll be using, the art graph, we're going to experiment with some of these other ones and throw some colors in there. It's been a while since I used the watercolor graphite, or at least the water soluble graphite. So I will end up linking these in the description below underneath my Amazon affiliate links. So that way, if you guys want to check them out, or if you guys want to order, I mean, anything helps this channel grow. So yeah, go check those out. So let's go ahead and get started. I know that we are on a short time frame here, but I also got this art graph, and I used it once because we got it in a powerful pack box. Now I would really like to get this in some of the other colors that they got, because they definitely have like a yellow, a red, and a blue one. And oh my gosh, I would love to have that in this, because the one thing that I noticed with the Graphitint is that it's lacking a yellow. Like, there's really not too much. Let's see if I can get it to adjust. There's not really too much of a yellowish color. These are greens. It's probably about as close of a yellowish color, even though it's not. It's meadow. Don't know what it's focusing on. If I take my hand away, probably something. So yeah, there's no yellows in here. So that's the reason why I really would like to have the art graph yellow, red, and blue. because the yellow is so important. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm actually going to try out a few things. Now these brushes are not the best brushes. These came with some of the sets that I got, like the watercolor. I got the Staedtler Mars Lunograph Aqua pencil, graphite pencil. So of course it came with its little paintbrush. I'm going to use it. The Faber-Castell, which I really do like their Aqua, water soluble graphite pencils. They're really nice. The brush looks really nice too. But whenever you come over here to the Derwent, which, I mean, Derwent's usually pretty good too, but their brush, my God, did they give me the worst one you can possibly get. Like, let's just show you. It is not straight. The wood is completely bent, as you can see. Like it's bent. The Faber-Castell one is straight, and you can just tell by turning it, you can see it just wobble. It's like bent. I don't think it was supposed to be that way neither. The wood is all weird. But anyways, it was just kind of funny. But if you guys have any questions on anything, feel free to ask. That's why I am here. I'm actually going to use this bigger one. Well, actually, those are both big. Which one's bigger? That one's a 6 and this one, well, this one here, it's an 8. So let's see how this goes. I'll lay this here. I don't really want to make too much of a mess. And I'm just going to put my brush right on that art graph. This is art graph, by the way. I wonder if I should spray this. I probably should. Hold on. Also, the paper that I'm using is before I get started, I guess it would be nice to show you that. I'm using the Stonehenge Aqua Hotpress, and it's by Legion. So this is a nice smooth paper. Also, it has the glue all the way around, so that way you don't get any bowing of the paper, and then you just take a palette knife, put it in between, and then cut it out around the edges. Makes it super nice. Let me get back straight here. I'm going to go ahead and mist this just a little bit. That way it's, oops, it's already getting started here. My bird's already got some colors. That way it's kind of see how it spreads. Just wanted a little bit of a different design kind of going on. I really didn't want that in my bird though. Well, we're just gonna see. Actually, kind of landed in a good spot there. It's like that's the way to start off a live stream. My goodness. Been having a great time. That just soaked right in. It's actually kind of amazing me that this is supposed to be graphite. Almost looks like ink. I mean, it is dark. Really dark. So if you're ever wanting something that's like really, really dark and you're wanting to get as dark as you can with a water-soluble graphite, I'm pretty sure this is the way to go with the Art Graf. And to be honest with you guys, I have not used this paper before. This is actually the first time I've used this paper. Just to kind of see how it acts. I need to spray a little bit more. get in and around some of these cherries here. I'll probably have to come back in and work with maybe a little bit of a lighter. Oh, my poor cherries. It's been so long since I've used the art graph that ended up getting them in a Powerful Pack box, or at least getting this one in a Powerful Pack box. So, and I can't remember what exactly I did with it. Like, I don't know what artwork I did. I can't remember. Like, I've done so many that it's starting to get to a point where I just can't remember everything that I've done and with what I've done it with. So it's like, oh my God, I can't remember, but I wish I did. And if I did, then I probably would remember how these looked. I probably had the same reaction too. Just kind of going around this log. Hopefully everything's going okay with the live. Because I mean, I had the OBS just totally, like I said, crashed on me. And I'm really hoping that everything goes okay for the remainder of this live. See what else. I can put a little bit of darkness probably in here, just a little bit. I don't know, it just seems like I'm having some issues still with the OBS. This may end up turning into more of a looser painting by doing this. kind of taper it out and just kind of get a little bit of a light color kind of going up in here. I'm just making random marks is all I'm doing. I'm not really doing anything. Don't like how dry it is though. All right, so we need to let this, definitely need to let this dry, but I might end up adding a little bit more in here, but I want to try those, we'll try some of the pencils and just see how it goes. So I want to stick this somewhere where it doesn't make a mess. And let's try out, I got some of the Lyra. This here is the 2B, looks like a 2B. So we'll just see how much, like how light this actually is. I'm gonna stick some in there. We'll just see how it goes. Looks like I even drew over my cherries. My poor little cherries. They don't stand a chance. Oh, 2B is actually pretty. A lot darker than what I thought it was going to be. Interesting. There's no way in heck neither that I would ever try and erase anything on here, especially if it's wet, or at least this wet. Oh my God, you would definitely tear the paper. So, all right, I think I'm gonna just stop with that, and we're just gonna go directly into our Graphitint. And we're gonna do, let's see here, what time is it? 8:18. Okay, so we're gonna go straight into doing one of our cherries, so that way you guys can see how that's done. And then we're gonna go into doing part of the limb, so you can see how that's done. And then we're gonna go into a leaf and try and go into the bird too. So let's go ahead and do our cherries. Now, as you can see in the Graphitint, we do not have any reds, but we do have an autumn brown, lighter parts. So let's go ahead and try this out. I'm going to try it down here on this bottom cherry. Let's see here. I took that one out. I mean, right now it just shows it as having a little bit of a kind of a lighter kind of color through here. So we'll do that. Let's do a little bit of a lighter color on this. And I'm just looking at the colors that's in the reference photo. That's what you want to look at. You do not want to look at it as a cherry. You want to look at it as more like, you know, like colors all, you know, coming together, how the colors are coming together, where a color starts and starts fading into a different color. That's the way you want to look at everything that you do whenever you're actually doing a painting. That makes it to where you can actually figure, okay, this is where this color starts, this is where this color stops. Now, let's just say, oops, went out of line with that. It's okay. We'll just make it a little bit bigger, cherry. Let's just say that you are working on something that, how should I put this? That being reds and using those toner reds, just change them to greens and using those tones of greens. Wendy, I absolutely love my Derwent Graphitint, such earthy organic colors. And I tend to use Faber-Castell graphite. Okay. Yes, the Faber-Castell graphite, like the water-soluble ones, like these right here, these are awesome. Like, I love them too. So I definitely like to use these also. Those are good choices. And, you know, I just wish that they would come out with a yellow. Like, I think that they, you know, I don't know if it would be, like, if they're trying to keep them light fast, maybe, and only sticking with certain colors. But the Art Graph actually came out with has a really nice bright yellow. I don't know. They're actually made of carbon. So I guess carbon you can do a little bit different stuff with. I'm not for sure. But I wish that they had more of a yellowish kind of tone in them. That would be awesome. Because there's so many things that I look at, I'm like, oh, I wish I had yellow. They are brilliant. Yes, I totally agree. So we got this cherry here. Let's see how it turns out. If we need to add anything or make it a little bit darker, then we will tell with this cherry. So let's go ahead and get our brush out. And I'm just going to go with our lighter color first. Not really going to intermix it just yet. That's our lighter color. And then let's go up to more of our reddish tone. Just kind of seeing what these colors look like. And then we'll just go in with this, more of this port kind of color. So it's not too bad. Might need to make it a little bit darker. So let's just go ahead and kind of blend those. That way it smooths it out and it doesn't look like a patchwork. So that chestnut didn't really come out as being as like a lighter color like I was really hoping it would. So we're going to actually try another thing that I just thought of that we can try and lighten it. But I also need to darken this up a little bit more on the port. So I will end up switching over to my purple. I think it's like Albergine or Albergreen or oh my goodness. Albergine. The ink tints are also very good too. Yes, they are. They're very, very vibrant too. I love the ink tints. I haven't used those in quite a while though. I've been really focusing on doing a lot of paintings lately. I need to start going over and doing some more of the ink tints. Okay, so we're going to let that dry so that way I don't hurt that one, or at least the paper on it. And now we're going to do this next one, and we're going to do it a little bit differently. So we're going to use the same thing. We're going to use the auburn brown, or an autumn brown. Now I do have some of this. I wonder if that actually erases or not. I don't think it does. No. It's too bad. Very pigmented, yes. They are. Yeah, I love them. They are super, super nice. They're very bright. And it seems like, let's see here, I can't even remember what was the last thing I've done with those. I keep on thinking like, okay, I need to remember which ones, like what I did with them, like the last thing I actually painted with them. And I can't remember. I don't know if it wasn't the turtle. I did a turtle, but I think I worked with ink and I don't think I worked with the other, with the ink tints. My goodness, I'm probably long overdue for that. That's probably a good thing you mentioned that, because I probably need to go ahead and do a ink tints one, maybe next week. Yeah, so thank you so much. I use them in my nature journal. Oh, how pretty. That's a good thing to do. would be a really pretty journal. I really, really like that type of, like, especially whenever you see those journals that have like the mushrooms and the little, you know, the ferns and the little, yeah, I really do like that. That's awesome. It's very relaxing. All right, so now we're trying this out. This is the autumn, and then we're gonna swoop it on in, and I use more of a purple this time for my shadow. Which that gave me a lot better outcome. But I still may want to go just a tad bit darker. So I'm not completely satisfied with that just yet. I think we can do more. I'm going to take my white and we're going to try this out. We're going to try and lightening this up just a little bit and just see what happens. I really wish they made a yellow. Oh my gosh. And then, you know, the other thing too is working with a limited palette really does make you try and figure ways out to kind of go around it. And you end up coming up with a really pretty painting though. Okay, let's go ahead. I don't think I can get that any more lighter. Even with the white, I don't think that's going to do anything except for kind of mist it out. I am going to take my purple through here. And then I'm actually going to take some black, midnight black. It's got a little bit of blue in it. I'm going to take a little bit of it and just kind of go up through the bottom here. I'm going to shape that out just a little bit too. Gotta be careful. I don't want it to go into that wet and then ruin my whole painting. There we go. Yeah, the white didn't do too much to it. Not a whole lot. Now I didn't wet this top. I'm gonna go over this again with my autumn. We have a nature reserve close by, so lots of opportunities to take photos are in North Wales, UK. Ooh, that sounds so pretty. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we don't, over here where I live, we don't got much. I mean, we got the little, we got some of the conservation and stuff where you can go out in the woods and stuff, but we don't get any, we don't got any of the not too much around here. You have to travel a little bit. It's probably the reason why I just imaginate everything. I'm like, I got a good imagination. All right, so I like my little cherries here, and we'll just wait until it completely dries before I work on them. So yeah, these are the colors that I would probably use still to try and create some sort of reddish tone, would just be by using definitely the autumn brown. The port does look really nice, but it's just probably if you're wanting to get them really, really dark, I would probably change over and use your purples. So the Albergine, I hope I'm saying that right. Albergine. I'm horrible at pronouncing stuff. Forgive me. But yeah, use your purples in order to create that darker tone. If you need to step in, use a little bit of black mixture in that. That would definitely help. So now we're going to move on to our little stems. And the stems, let's see here. Which ones do we have? Actually made myself a color chart. I feel really proud of myself. We can use the russet or even the cocoa. Chestnut too. Chestnut for highlight. This is cocoa. Where's my chestnut? That's sage. I don't want that one. Here it is. Russet. Oh, there we go. So what I would do for these is, let's use the russet, and wherever you want your shadow, like your lighter or your darker area, I would probably outline it. Like make sure that you get one side a little bit darker. Let's go to there. Maybe use some of this cocoa. If you need to, you could probably go in with a black. And then the chestnut would be more of the lighter tone. So we can put that on the end or one side where it's lighter. We'll try the white. I don't really know if there's any, it doesn't even show up very good. It's not like the ink tints. But we can go ahead and put those in. Let's put our little stem in. There we go. Have you ever used these, Wendy, have you ever used these, like the Derwent, these Graphitints, and then use like color pencil with them? Have you ever tried that? Maybe do like a mixed media if you needed like colors. Just been kind of curious. It's been on my mind. Like, been thinking, probably use like a mixed media with these. So I'm just going through and then putting the lighter ones, so dark and then to light, wherever you want your highlight at. If it's not dark enough, we can always go back in and add a black. Most definitely. Okay, awesome. Yeah, definitely. I was thinking about doing that. Like, because with all my paintings, I really like to work with them. And if I'm not happy with them, I'll just leave them. And I'm like, okay, you're going to get some acrylic paint on you. Or I'm going to make it to where it works. Just like that fish, you know, I did the fish and I tried out that mixed media. It was a Frederick's mixed media canvas board, and I never used the Pitt artist pins on those. And I ended up using it and I liked it. Don't get me wrong, I liked it. But then I was like, you know, I need to go back in and make this a mixed media and start like using my acrylic paints on top of it and kind of give it a little bit of a glaze and add some highlights here and there. And I did that and it turned out really, really nice. I really did like the way the fish ended up turning out. I use the Derwent drawing pencils too. I do mix them a lot. Okay, yeah, because that would definitely help out on some of these just little areas that maybe you might need a little bit of the yellows, or maybe any of these other colors that maybe you're missing. Maybe you want to add that little bit in there. I'm really thinking about doing that with this. Probably not on this live, but I'm thinking I might end up doing that. So there's the cherries, and basically I just added one little black line to that. If you don't want that line to be so harsh, you can always come through with a brush and just kind of soften that out just a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to go on. I'm going to do a little bit of the stem. We're at 8:36, so I definitely want to do this stem now. The stem's going to have a little bit of a different color. We could end up using our browns, but as you can see, we're using a lot of those different tones already with our cherries and our stem. So we kind of want to stick away from our browns when using this on the limb. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up using more of Ooh, here's a cool brown that I never used. Maybe. What does a cool brown look like? Hold on. Cool brown. Yeah. Okay, so we're keeping the cool brown because that would probably work with what I'm thinking. So we're just going to use more of our gray tones instead of using our browns. That way we're not kind of colliding. We want these cherries to kind of pop out and look like they're red. So if we use any of our browns that we kind of already used for our cherries, they're really just going to blend in with the wood. So I would not do that. I would go ahead and take out your gray tones. So in the Derwent Graphitint, they have cool gray, warm gray, cloud gray, and they also got mountain gray. Mixed media is so much better. It's less, yes, it is confining. Absolutely. And it just makes you feel like you can go so much more. Like you can do so much more. You can go above and beyond with your paintings. I do agree. Totally agree with that. So I'm pulling out all my grays. I think the darkest gray that I would have would be the warm gray. Ooh, there's a storm over here too. It's a storm. That would be a nice one. Where's that one? Storm. Ooh, I like that one. But our darkest one would be warm gray or cool brown. We can always use that when I'm combining these warms and cools here. But I want to start off with a cool color, and then we're going to work our way on up with warmer colors. So here is my cool brown. Let's see here. We're just going to put in our darker color on the bottom where the light ain't shining. Now I am doing a little bit different. If you notice on the cherries, I kind of put my shadow on the top of the cherries right in here. That's because that bird was in there. So he was right above these cherries, and I was thinking with the light shining down, they are not going to get that much shadow. But with this limb, how it comes in, this is probably going to be more darker in this area on the light source. And then definitely we want underneath of his little claws, we want that to be super dark. So let's, just for now, let's take some of our black and just kind of get some of these claws outlined here. Okay, if you need to, on the bottom of your cool brown that you used, go underneath with a little bit of black. Just barely, just on the very bottom side of it. Just go underneath, a little bit of black. That way you're creating an even more deeper shadow in there. Here's your cool brown. I'd make it a little bit wider here. Let's go up just a little bit more. We may end up having to use a little bit more of that darker, like the black here, especially for these cherries. They're probably got a little bit of a shadow. Okay, I think that'll be good. Okay, so those are the two that I do, and now let's go ahead and make the top part. Do I have a cloud gray, a mountain gray. I really want to use mountain or storm. Let's see here. Let's use mountain gray. That's warm gray, mountain gray. Yeah. Oh, we got another shadow. I just now seen that. So let's take our cool brown, kind of put it underneath of this little piece of wood sticking out, and then use our black just a little bit, just to give it a little touch. Let's go through with our mountain gray, and we're going to use that toward the top part of our log. Okay. And then here's this one, that is his claw. Let's go in here and use this also for the top part of our log. Let's go around these little cherries here. Okay, this is super dark in that area. Let's take our midnight black. I'm going to come in here and just darken this up just a little bit, just to let myself know that that is a little crease shadow. It's a dark shadow. All right, I think I'm happy with that. So now let's go in and use our water, and let's just see how this turns out with the wood. I'm going to go to my lighter colors. Just kind of doing a little bit of that mountain gray at the top. Okay, clean my brush off. I'm going to go ahead and go in to the brown here, and then the black. The black is not really that dark, so I don't really have to worry too much. Just make a little bit of that for a little shadow. And this was solid black. It's just not that dark. Which this is kind of good that we got the art graph if we wanted to come back in and just be very precise on getting it in the right spot. So this here is the darker area. Now I'm going to do this little lighter area right in here. This is the top part of the log. Okay. Now I'm going to come in and do this other darker area that we have. Kind of cool. Okay. All right. There's the claw of the bird there, so that's why that is not showing up right there. Like it almost like it looks like we missed a spot. That's the area of the little claw. Definitely lighter behind it. So now you can tell the difference between our limb and our cherries. Definitely looks totally different. Now we can go ahead and do a couple of these little leaves. I do have some roots right here. So I'm going to create, let's see here, we're at 45 minutes. We won't be able to get done with the bird. We actually may end up, you know what would be really fun? Is on next week live stream, we should finish the bird, like do the bird, but then also incorporate using color pencils and making this a mixed media piece. That would be so much fun. Either that or, yeah, I'm thinking, because I don't want it to be, if I did if we ended up going like this and then trying to go on top with ink tints, I don't think I want to do that. I'm thinking color pencils. So how about we do that next week? We can make a part 2 of this and turn this into a mixed media. So that way you can kind of see what we're doing as far as adding all the water soluble graphite to our painting. And then after we're done, you can either keep it the way it is or go back into it and just give it that extra kick by using color pencils. And we can do that. So we can do a part 2 on this one. I think that would be a lot of fun. I don't know. What do you guys think? Just let me know. Leave me a comment and we will definitely see, because I have so much fun. I love doing these things. Let's see here. What are the colors? Okay, these are my cool browns. So I'm going to stick with the cools right in here still. I'm going to stick my cool brown kind of coming up through here. Definitely is going to be a shadow. I'm going to stick a lot more of the cool brown in here. And we're going to shade up with a little bit of black. Okay. And that way you can kind of tell where our colors are going to start and stop for the green leaf. Do mountain gray on top. This is a part of my little wood here. Just gonna make sure. If I need to add any more, which I do, of the cool brown, I can. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more. Okay, let's go ahead and get this wet. Let's see here. The slate green can add some interesting contrast. I totally agree with you about the mixed media. It's awesome. Slate green. Oh yeah. Let's see here. Where is my slate green? Where are you? There you are. Oh yeah. I could definitely see that. That's a nice color. We're going to throw that in there. We're going to throw it in there with my greens. We'll see how it goes. That is a nice one. I had to make sure I get it. You told me about it. I was like, oh my goodness, I need to look in there. Hold on. We're going to use it. Yeah, I only did, let's see here. Last time I worked with my Graphitint, here we go again. Try to remember. Graphitint, I did my birds. And I really did like my birds. I had the little birds and they were on a little limb with a bunch of flowers all over the place, and the like purple little flowers, purple and pretty background on it. It's like a pink that I came up with. I think I used a little bit of the port mixed in with my juniper, like to make it look like that. It was really pretty. That's been a while ago. That has definitely been a while ago. I could have swore I used them for something else. My memory is going. It is so bad. Okay, that's sage. I don't think I want sage. Or maybe I do. We got ivy. I definitely want meadow. Definitely meadow. Slate green would be more of, I want to do that like kind of coming up into, where's my slate? Okay, slate green. Ivy. It's a nice one. I think that's it. I don't know if I want to use those yet. Okay, just these three. So we're going to use slate green, we're going to use meadow, and we're going to use ivy. Ivy. Goodness, I need a drink. Okay, so let's go in here and we're just going to create some looks like leaves kind of coming through here. It doesn't have to be nothing perfect. I'm not really looking on anything exact. And then this one here is going to have just a little bit of the green kind of coming through here. Okay, that was the meadow. So I used that towards the top. I'm going to come in with my ivy. Just put a little bit in here. I'm just throwing it a little bit, not really much. And then I'm going to come in here with actually the slate green. Oh, it's more blue green. Probably helps if I didn't look at my book in the dark. Hold on, before I actually take it out and use it. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. That'll still be fine. It just adds more of a cool tone to the leaves in here. You can actually toss in more blues, like a darker blue, and that would actually go with greens too to make them a little bit more shadowy and add that cooler tone needed. So I am perfectly fine. I was like, So it should be fine. Actually, we can take and add some blue to it. Oh, my elbow's not wanting to bend. Dark indigo. Let me see. Yes, dark indigo. Let's go even darker. And then let's throw in just a little bit more of my lighter greens in here. They'll mix in. All right. Where's my, okay, the slate green. Let's go ahead and kind of get it going like into the tree limb here. Just here and there. All right. I agree. Yep. I had to make sure. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm blind. I can't see very well. Knowing me, I pick up colors all the time, and sometimes I use them and I'm like in shock of what I just did. I'm like, oh my goodness, did I really pick up that color? And I'm like, it's okay. Maybe it meant to be there. And then it usually works out somehow. Usually, I've been really bad lately, to be honest with you guys. I've been really bad at splattering paint on areas that I don't want it to be in. Like, I have been horrible at that lately. Like, bad. I done it with the fish. Again, not the black speckles that I meant to do, but I accidentally speckled it with white, or like a purple type of tone, and speckled it, and I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, what'd I do? I almost gave him ick. I mean, I seriously speckled him. I was like, the thing that I told everybody to be careful about is he can have black dots and black dots here and there, but you don't want to do white because you're going to end up making him look like he had ick. Oh, I totally like almost made him look like he had ick. I was like, oh no, I'm horrible at it. Like been splattering. And then I got this on here, so I was like, good job, Deborah. Way to go. So I got my little leaves in there. I would like to do a little bit more to them, but I can't do anything yet until the paper is dry. And I know our time is going, so we definitely did some of the wood. Now, if you're wanting to go back in, adding more texture or anything like that to your wood, you can always go back in and add some little lines to it. Like take some of your, I know we had that, but let's try cocoa. Is it cocoa? Coca? And you can always just put a little bit more in here. I know that's going to be more of a warmer color, looks like. But you can put some little, and it gives just here and there. You don't really just kind of squiggle it in. I wouldn't really worry too much about trying to be so accurate. But if you just toss it in, you can add a little bit more tone. Or add maybe a little bit more of a warmer tone. There we go again. If you wanted to add just little bits and pieces. There is our blue. We definitely got our blues in there, but as you can see, they didn't even turn out to be that dark, so we can actually go in and do a little bit more. The Graphitint is great for rainbow trout and starlings. Oh yeah, that would be perfect colors. I didn't even think about that. I was like, what could I do with my Graphitint? And then I kept on seeing everything yellow. And it's kind of funny because the theme of the month that I made for this month for Patreon was like yellow. And I started coming up with so many ideas on what to do with yellow. Yellow for spring, yellow ducklings. And I came up with all different types of little sceneries or things that you could do. And then I go to the Graphitint, I'm like looking at everything yellow. I'm like, I'm seeing yellow. And there's no yellow in my Graphitint. I'm like, oh my gosh. What did I do? Really, I don't know. Okay, here's a question. What, your white, like, do you even really use your white? I mean, really, does it, this white here just doesn't seem to have as much of an effect. Like, I even with my other one that I did with my little bird and my, the bird and the little tree limbs, like the white never really, it doesn't really stand out very much. Like it doesn't really give you too much of a highlight at all. I need to be careful with my paper. And trying to see if I can like lighten up some things with it, but it just doesn't. So that's what's going to be really good whenever we go back and use our color pencils, is because we'll be able to kind of brighten things up a little bit more. I'm going to go, I hope you guys don't mind, I'm going to go a little bit over. I don't hear my son like saying, Mom. So I'm really thinking I need to at least have a little bit more to this video. Here is a 2B. This is Derwent Graphitint. I'm going to try and fill this in just a little bit in between these cherries. I don't like that it's not filled in. Okay. Try Chinese. Oh yeah, the Derwent trying Chinese white, incredible coverage. Oh yeah, I love the Derwent Chinese white. Oh my gosh, I basically had to get a few of them to stock up because they are super nice. I totally agree with you. Oh my gosh, 100%. Oh yeah, it's gonna happen. I think it's gonna happen. You say that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it makes me want to turn around, just grab it, and start using it. Code 7200. Dang, yeah, you got it. You got it. You got it definitely better than I do. I did not know the number for it. Love that pencil though. Love that pencil. So let's go ahead. We did a little bit of the leaf. I definitely want to, I mean, we already did the cherries. It just feels like I'm half done whenever I'm doing this. Let's go back over. I know we're going to finish our bird and we'll work on a bird next week, but I really want to go back over these cherries just again, just to kind of with the same colors, this auburn. I just feel like it's just not enough. And then the purple. Going over it with the autumn again. I don't think I really care for this. See, our picture has different lighting on it. It's basically going to be darker anyway in there. And then I want to take some of our black and I'm going to come through here and just kind of give this more of a shadow. I mean, I could try the white. Let's try it. Come on, Derwent. Yeah, definitely need to add just a little bit more in there, like a color pencil, just to get our lights and our darks a little bit better. All right, so I think that's pretty much it of working on this. Actually, I want to do one more thing with the background before I end up going. We need to adjust these colors in the background because I am not happy with that. And I also wanted to try out too in the Lyra pencils here, the graphite or the water soluble graphite Lyra, they have a 9B graphite. Now I know Graphitint goes up to an 8B and Faber Castell I mean, I have an 8B also. So I wanted to give it a try. I wanted to see just how dark the 9B is. So this is where I'm going to test it out. Like some of these areas here where it's just doesn't look, I mean, it's not going to be as dark. I know I'm not going to get it as dark as this. Not as dark as this carbon, but I would like to see just how dark it actually gets. Like, especially if you're wanting to get into some of these areas that are just a little bit too close to your drawing and you want to be a little bit safe. Oh, like right here between the little birds' legs. Okay, let's try that. I got a whole bunch of that area in there. So let's give it a try. Let's see what it looks like. Wow, that just changed. Look how dark that is. Wow. I mean, when you get it wet with your brush, it definitely changes. Holy cow. Like, I'm amazed. I did not think it was actually going to be this dark. That is pretty close. So I'm impressed. Let's get in and around this little bitty wood piece that I did. Look at that. That just totally shocked me on how dark that is. I was not expecting it to be almost a pretty close match to our art graph. I mean, it came off so light. Like, this is crazy. Like, let me do this again. Where did it go? I already lost it and it's so big. Okay, 9B. Now let's do it right here. Like, look at that. It's not as dark. Like, it does not, I mean, whenever I'm looking at it, it's not really like as dark as that. And then you take your brush and look how dark that is. That is like super dark. So yeah, if you're wanting to adjust any of your colors, you can go in and do that a little bit more accurately with that pencil. That is really cool. I really do like it. Do I want to put any? Yeah, let's put a little bit in here too. See, I just like to be able to, if there's something that's kind of bothering me and I really want it to kind of have a different shape, or maybe I don't really like the shape too much, I usually like to go back and kind of work on things a little bit more just to kind of get the background just the way I'm wanting it. And it's really nice to be able to do that even with a pencil. Oops. Be careful, I just wetted this part of the paper. All right, so it came off really cool. All right, so I'm gonna leave this the way it is, except that I will go back and I will finish the cherry. I will come back and actually, well, I won't come back. I don't know why I said I'll come back. But I'm going to end up finishing the cherries and the little limb along with the leaves. So that will all be done by next week. We're going to come back in, since we already seen how we work the cherries and the limb. You just continue on doing the same thing. When I come back, we're going to end up working on the little bird together, and then we'll come back in and try and use some color pencils just to kind of add any kind of like dark areas, like low lights or highlights, any of those things to kind of boost the contrast a little bit more in our painting, or to add a little bit more detail. We'll be able to do that with our color pencils, and we'll make this a mixed media. I do enjoy working with this. I mean, after I get done with this, just as using the Graphitint, but just by using all these different water-soluble graphites, you could end up leaving it just the way it is. I mean, there is nothing wrong with it. You could leave it the way it is, and it'll still look good. But the thing is that with me, I love to just keep going and going and going with my artwork. Like, I just want to like do more. Or what could I do to add a little bit more to it, or make it a little bit more unique by adding the little punch to it? So that's what we're going to be doing next week, is coming back and working on the bird with the Graphitint, and the yeah, it'll probably pretty much be the Graphitint what we're working with, and then we're going to end up doing some color pencils on top too. Looking forward to seeing you next week. Take care. Take care, Wendy, and thank you so much for joining. It definitely has been a lot of fun talking to you. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end it. And remember to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, share. What are the other things? Leave a comment, share. Yeah, any of those things definitely helps this channel grow. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye, everyone.